Hi everyone, I'm reporting to you live from my softwares Zoom and Nearpod. Zoom is a software that works similarly to other programs such as Skype and Discord. This meaning it is a video chat application with some pretty cool additional qualities. It can allow for both students and teachers to be able to share their screens with one another so that they can show what they are teaching or learning, such as I will demonstrate here. I can share my screen here, and now I will stop the share. The good thing about being able to share screens is this way everyone can be on the same page and also still continue to learn in a way similar to that of an in-person instruction. It also allows the teacher or host of the meeting, hopefully it's the teacher, to be able to do other things such as put the students in small groups called breakout groups or breakout rooms, which would act similarly to a real life small group discussion. In these breakout rooms, students can work together on projects or on discussing questions posed by the instructor. Now the program Nearpod, if I can get it up here, perfect. The program Nearpod is a similar program to that of Google Slides and PowerPoint, but so much better as it allows so much more interactivity between students and teachers. Students would log into this program using a code to access the teacher's pre-created slides, much like they would for a game of Kahoot. If any of you have ever heard of Kahoot before, I feel like it's pretty common nowadays. From there, the instructor can control what pages the students are on using an instructor pace mode. So down here, if you see on my screen, are two options called student paced and live lesson. Live lesson is kind of the instructor paced mode where you as the instructor can control what slide your students are on, um, it, what if they need to be answering questions and so on. This is the student code that students would use to join this one in particular that I mentioned previously. From here, the teacher can also have interactive discussion boards that students can submit their answers to questions live and be able to read other students' answers. Now I know that sounded really weird. I'm really awful about wording. So what this is a collaborate board. What you can do is, here it is. You can ask for any sort of questions, such as the question posed here, like what are some of your ideas? And you could just put in anything and post it. And it kind of works like a little kind of post-it note, like on a bulletin board, which is pretty cool. Every student can see all the other students' answers. The teacher can track which students have answered and which students have not, especially if they logged in properly using their names. Sometimes they don't, but you could kind of narrow it down to see who's who. So how can cross-cutting be implemented into this? Well, for me, that's pretty simple. The cross-cutting concepts approach is one approach to STEM infusion that looks at concepts such as ones like cause and effect or problem solving or so on and so forth, and see how they are found throughout all of the disciplines. This meaning teachers plan by first choosing a concept that they want to focus on and then weaving in different standards from the disciplines. This is still fully possible to implement using the Nearpod and Zoom applications as they allow for online teaching to be as close and similar to in-person teaching as possible. Personally, as long as the teacher has everything planned beforehand, I feel it would be an easy task to transfer over pre-planned activities to the Nearpod format or even the Zoom format. An example that I had was, say you had a book that you wanted students to analyze. Say it was a book on science, so you want them to analyze the science concepts as well as analyze the book itself, such as the main idea, meaning, so on. Sort of kind of cross-cutting, not really. But what you could do is make a student paste Nearpod that all students can access with scanned images of the books and interactive discussion boards, such as this one. Then place students in small breakout rooms using Zoom to allow for small group work and allow for them to share their screens and work through the book together, answering the questions on the discussion boards as they go. That way, you as the teacher can see like, oh, group two's here, group three's here, group one's here, and so on and so forth, and also be able to see if maybe one group needs a little additional help more than the other, say their questions aren't exactly on topic, or maybe they haven't answered a single question after a couple minutes, then you might get a little suspicious. You, as the teacher, can actually pop into the breakout rooms and pop into the discussions and start discussing like what your students are thinking and so on, kind of similar to what you would do in a normal classroom. Personally, I see no reason why cross-cutting concepts should be impacted unless you are solely planning on having students do an interactive project where materials would be difficult to come by within their homes. Otherwise, just about everything else should be possible to do through these two platforms, Zoom and Nearpod. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. I know I messed up a little, but I don't know. I hope y'all learned a little bit more about both of these. Bye.